Okay, what you're looking at here is the front plate of the two carburetors for a 75 horsepower Mercury. Um, it's a four-cylinder engine, so it's got one carb for two cylinders. So you got top and bottom. Now, this is a shot of the back side of the carburetors and the plate. And you can see this is, of course, the linkage. This is for the choke assembly, I believe. Yeah, this is the choke assembly linkage that opens and closes the choke. And this is the synchronization. First, I had to take this plate off. Basically, what happens is you got to pull these four screws, 1, 2, 3, and 4, and this plate comes right off. Now you might end up, I think you have to pull these out too. These are the jets. These come out. And once you get those, basically 6 screws out, you can pull the carburetors right off of this plate. I wanted it all together, so I kept it together so I don't lose anything. So anyway, this is kind of what I got here. I think it's all plugged up though. You can see all the crud. Look at all that crud. Now, that's got to be inside the carburetors too. So, and I had a crank no start condition. I mean, this thing ran 2 months ago, and maybe it just sucked all this crap up into the carburetors. I thought it would run, and I tried to run it while I was up north, and I was working on the lower unit, the shift reverse problem. And now I'm working on the carburetors because apparently this doesn't work either. And it was running. It ran good for a second, and I know it's got compression. It had spark up there up north, and so it had tons of fuel in the carburetor. I just don't think it's getting through the system like it's supposed to. So that's where we're at. So I'm going to dismantle these. I'm going to get them soaking, get them cleaned up. Then when my gaskets arrive, I can put it all up north, take it with me, and go put it back together. So stay tuned. Just for notation, there is a gasket here on both of these jets that I just pulled out. This one's been disintegrated and missing. Maybe that's what's over here. Maybe this is part of the gasket that just fell apart. And here's a partial of one, because these are the two jets I just took out. And well, there's one there, so I guess I do have them, but they are definitely starting to decompose a bit. Okay, anyway, I just wanted you to see the jets I pulled out. That's step one, and now I'll get these 4 bolts out, these 2 here and these 2 here, and I can pull this thing apart. So by removing these bolts, this was a 7/16 ratchet, or yeah, I think it's a 7/16. And this one was these jets were 5/16. So use a 5/16 socket on that. Just so you can see it. Now this should come right off, and it does. Now you can see my broken linkage there. This just fell off. Once it came apart, it just kind of fell off. I'm going to take all the plastic off and get these apart one at a time. This was a top carburetor, because you've got this linkage up here. That's the throttle. That's what moves both them. Supposedly, this here linkage moves both of these butterflies open inside the throttle. And so anyway, not enough super glue to fix that. So I've got a part on order for that. And again, gaskets are on order. There is a gasket also for this plate that goes on the outside of this when that bolts back up to the air intake. So then that will seal that as well. This rubber looks okay. I think this foam is fine. We can reuse that. But I'll get into these carburetors and see what's up with those. Oh, and another thing I just wanted to mention, there is a gasket here too. This one's disintegrated and gone. That's what I thought maybe is the one I saw that got, destroyed. But look how, I mean, that's just turned into mush. That's not even a gasket anymore. It's like, it just feels sticky and nasty. Anyway, I just wanted to show you that. So now in this gasket here, this is the intake. This gasket here is no good. So there's two of them on, that's what bolts to this. So actually it's on this side like this. So those need to be replaced. I think there's gaskets on this side, but I don't know. I'll have to look back, but maybe not. Just these gaskets that go on the inside on this back surface back here. Okay. All right, so moving on. Oh, and also I just want to point out there's a jet here and a jet here. So these have got to come out. You got your Venturi tube down here. And of course this plastic, I think that's a Venturi holder of some sort. Alignment pin of some sort. Those got to go in the right orientation. So you got to pay attention to how those go in. This has got like a rounded side, and then it has a pin side. So that's got to go in the proper way. Otherwise, you're not going to be spraying fuel in the right direction, or it could deflect fuel where you don't want it. Anyway, okay. Okay, now I'm going to start taking it apart. Basically, just the screws on the bowls, taking out the jets, that kind of thing. So we'll take a look at it after that. Okay, that's spring loaded. Okay, so far I just removed the air mixture screw, which went in here, and that looks like this. It's got a spring on the end. This looks like stainless steel. The tip looks pretty nice. I mean, it doesn't look dirty or scored or anything like that. Just so you can see it pretty good. All right, and then I pulled out the other jet that was in here in this hole, but you can see, I don't know if you can see it or not, but you see that the blockage that's in there, that's got a ton of crap in there. And it's half blocked or more. So that's definitely a problem. So that's one issue. We'll keep going. This is the top carburetor again. So also too, to get this little jet out here, I had to file down a screwdriver to get into that port down there, and this just makes it in there. So anyway, so you got to use a special screwdriver, a small enough one to get in there. You might have to modify what you have. So okay, moving on. I don't know what happened. I think I lost the video. But anyway, if you didn't see it, the bolt was really clean. I'm just trying to get this gasket off, just to be careful with it. I mean, they're in stock. They're coming, ordered, but I just thought I'd try to be gentle with it. I got it almost all the way off. Kind of got to get it over that pin. Yeah, I had it. I had it off that pin too. There it goes. Okay. And there it is. So we'll look at the numbers right in there. And this comes over it. Not sure what this little coupler is here. Don't know. Is that the adjustment? Could be. Yeah, I don't know. Okay, so far I've gotten the float out, and you have to remove the pins here. I just used a punch and a little hammer and gently tap them out. Now, the way you got to look for the knurl and tap on it from the opposite side of the knurl, and they come right out. So no worries there. But if you tried tapping it the other side where the knurl was on the pin, you'd end up probably splitting this or breaking it. So Anyway, I just thought I'd point that out. And I did get the seat out. That's for the needle. It doesn't look like it's in bad shape at all, that I can tell. Probably supposed to be a gasket down in there. Yeah, I see that. So I'll have to pull that out too. But other than that, we're going to put everything in there to soak. Put it in our little basket. And I think that's pretty much it. The only other thing that you need to look out for, I probably could leave these Venturi tubes in and not take them out. Just soak the whole thing. What you got to look for, though, is those little holes that are on this side of the carburetor. When you open up the butterfly in the back of the throat here, you can see them right there. On this side over here, you can see that there's 4 holes. 1, 2, 3, 4. And one big one down there too. So you want to get a piece of like a bread tie or some welding tip cleaner wire and ream them out good. And then make sure you ream them, and then you can blow it out with compressed air after you've soaked it. So just make sure those are clean. Generally what happens is you usually take these out here and clean them out from that way. But I've read where Mercury says if they've got a red coating on there like this, don't take these out. So we're not gonna. We're gonna just do it the best way we can, and we'll go from there. So okay. Just wanted to point out that was the little washer that was down inside the seat, down in that hole. So now you can see it's clear. That looks like a little copper or brass type of, and it was face up with this little ring around it. It's probably just a wear area. At first I thought it was a rubber O-ring because you can see black and it looked like a rubber O-ring, but that couldn't be right. So this just kind of, the black was up, so it would go over this like that with the black down, the little black O-ring looking thing down. It's probably just a mark, but that was it. That went over that like that. So I'm not sure exactly why that needs a washer in there like that, a metal one. But anyway, just for posterity here, I want you to see it. We'll put it all in there and we'll clean it all up. And now it's ready for soaking. We'll soak this one, then I'll take the other one apart and do exactly the same thing. So stay tuned. Okay, so what we've got here now is the reassembly. After soaking the carburetors overnight, or at least 6-7 hours anyway, I soaked them in the parts cleaner and took some carb cleaner, sprayed them down real good, blew out every orifice I could see. There were just, there's a bunch of them on here. There's like four inside the throat of the carburetor, little tiny holes. You've got your, of course, your fuel in. You've got the, like a Venturi tube here, or that's part of the Venturi there. Anyway, got them all blown out, carburetor cleaned out real nice, just to top it off with some carb cleaner just to get off the residue. These are the parts, the old parts and gaskets. I'm going to reuse all the parts except for this, and this, and this. This all comes in this new kit. So you can see there's the brass washer, the other little washer here, and then the 2 gaskets, intake and bowl. So we're going to get rid of that. And we can get rid of that too. So set that all aside. But all my jets have been cleaned out. There's about 3 of them here. So very, very nice and clean. The float is in good shape. We've got our 2 pins to hold the float. We've got the needle, and of course this is the seat, and the air mixture screw. This is the throttle cam, because that's what I call it. And then, of course, we can get rid of this too. We've got a new intake gasket. So this is what's left. And the other carburetor is basically identical to it, except it doesn't have this, of course. This is on top of the top carburetor, and that's what the engine controls the throttle. So we did get a new part, the one that broke. I bought this off of eBay. This kit, or this is the synchronization linkage that I actually broke from, and this seems a lot more durable to me, a little thicker, it seems like, than the old one. If I can show that to you, maybe just because this one's broken and looks frail, but I mean you can see, maybe it's just because it's just old and brittle, but anyway, this definitely feels a little thick. Maybe this was like a 3D printer or something that somebody made, but they sold it on eBay as an OEM part. And this has everything it needs to reconnect it. So, all right, we're going to reassemble that and go from there. So, let's keep watching. I did want to show you the kit that I bought. This was just the gasket kit through MarineEngine.com. It's the aftermarket part through Sierra. It says replaces Mercury Mariner 1395-6200. See catalog for application. This probably is the part number 18-7004. There's some other numbers here I'm not sure about, but anyway, I got two of those, and they're identical, one for the top and one for the bottom carburetor. Okay, well, anyway, moving on. The last thing I wanted to show you on this part list was there's two foam washers here, and also two gaskets that go on the plate for the intake. So basically, they go on this side, the gaskets, and they're peel and stick. So just so you're aware of that. That weight backing comes off and they're sticky, and they end up going on the back here. You can see the witness areas where it's nice and clean, and the foam washers go on the bowl just like this. So when you're ready to install everything, I'm not sure what these washers do actually, but that's where that goes, and it maybe creates some kind of vibration cushion. I don't know, but that's what those are for. And they want one for each of the carburetors, and then these are the part numbers for both of those types of gaskets and washers. So don't remember which one's which, but you get the idea. This was all ordered through MarineEngine.com. Keep watching. We'll continue on. Okay. So I'll take that off for now. Save them for later. No, I just need one gasket kit. Okay. That's the new intake, which we'll save for later. And we've got our bowl. Let's see. It should go like that. Right. I believe this one goes over this, if I'm not mistaken. Just like that. And this little one, this real tiny one, goes in down in here. Okay, just like that. So you can see it nice and shiny in there, right down in here. So yeah, you can see that pretty well. Now this is the old seat. I'm just going to reuse it because it looked okay. It just had to be cleaned out. I believe that was an M8 size, probably an American size, but the M8 worked. Yeah. Be careful, I don't want to cross-thread it. There she goes. Okay, we'll cinch that down. I gotta get my little ratchet. Just ever so slightly, and then we gotta put our needle in, of course.
over that like that. Then we put our floats in, their pins, and the knurl is on the left on this side and on the right on the opposite side. So okay, the knurl, as you can see the knurl. My little hammer, a little big. Let's see here. That's it. Of course, the other one slipped out. All right. Well, you want to be careful. Just a few little love taps is all you need. Hang on here a little bit too more than I wanted it. Let's see. That's better. Don't slip out now. Okay. All right. Yeah. Looks like a perfect fit. Goes over the posts. Like that there. This just goes back on like that. All right. Yeah. There she goes. Yep, that was it. Okay. All right. Let's just thread it in here. It's got the gasket on it. Very simple. Size is not very 13 millimeter. Yeah, that's it. Got that little adapter. Gotta use this one. Gotta use the small one. Okay. Now I got the two. That one last needle and last jet. It's got to go in the jet one on the left. Drop that in right there. And I have a special screwdriver I use for that. That's snug. And the mixture screw is going to be slightly seated and then 1.5 turns out. Okay, that's slightly seated. 1/2, 1, and another half. And we'll leave it at that. Now that carburetor should be set. Put a little foam washer on there, like that. And we'll set that aside. Now we'll do the other one. Okay. Okay. Carburetor number 2. The old gasket I won't need. The bowl, the air intake I won't need. And okay, we got our needle. We got our 4 bowl screws. Jet. We don't need this either. It's that little washer. We got a new one. The seat, needle and seat we'll need, okay, and the 2 pins. Okay, that's pretty much everything we need right there. I will have to take this off to replace it with the new one, so I might want to do that now. Looks like it goes just like that. I left it on there just so I knew the orientation, so because I knew when I soaked it, I didn't care about this plastic being affected. Comes off just like that. New one's got a locator pin. There might be some adjustment in this. It's slotted, so there's definitely some adjustment. I'm just going to put it dead center in case I have to do some adjusting later on. Definitely keep that in mind. Okay, it's seated now. Yeah, it's tight enough for now. Okay. Maybe I'll put it on the edge like this. Now, take a step back a little bit. Yeah, it's a little risky doing that, but I think it's a little more stable on the table. So, all right. Okay. I'm going to put the seat in first, just like I did in the last one.
I'm going to do what I'm going to do is I'm going to put it together like this and then mount it to this plate, and then everything will be stable. So this is the inside. This is the gasket surfaces for the front of the carburetors. So what I'll do, I'm going to flip these over gently. Well, I've got to take that top one back apart. I'm going to do that first. I'm going to take this one apart and flip that bolt around.
Flip the bowl float around. Yeah, I made a mistake on that. Yeah, you see that? Those go down. Okay, well, first mistake I ever made. Here's my really part father would say. Easy enough. Okay, fixed. Thanks for showing me that. Glad you guys mentioned it. Well, I gotta keep me honest here. Yeah, it could have been a real problem, maybe. I don't know. If I make any more mistakes, I'm sure you guys will comment. Okay. Everything's together. All right. Top carb, bottom carb. No. I gotta get that put on this one. Where's my other, and oh, there it is. But I lost that guy. All right. It should have been in the bag. Okay. That's a jet within a jet too, so it doesn't hurt to pull that jet out, but that's just a through hole. And I'm just going to spray some crap in here just to make sure, some carb thinner, just to make sure it's coming out all 4 sides. So just making sure. Okay. All right. Gasket's on. In good shape. Okay, never over tighten anything. So we kind of like that. This was the front. This is the back. I could tell because this has a cutout here. And when I took this apart, I remember that cutout being facing me, and it was also on the bottom of the carburetors, on the bottom in this direction. So I just need to flip this like this. This is the top. This is the bottom. Yeah, let's go this way. Okay, now it fits. All right. Yep, that's fitting right over those gaskets nicely now. Now, that should see what I'm looking at here when I do that. Both of those should be equally closed, and they're not. So that's definitely not adjusted right, if you can see that. So I want to make sure that both of these butterflies are closed at the same time. Hopefully you can see that. And in order to do that, I believe it's this adjusting screw right here that makes that happen. So let me adjust this. That's how you sync them. All right, let's just take this off. Now I can get to it. It's going to hold it about here. It wants to snap back a little bit. Okay. I have to do a little guesswork here. Okay. So I loosen that up. Amount of adjustment. It's as much as I can adjust it. What if? Gotta be more of an adjustment than that. I see. Maybe it's this. I'll tighten this back up. Gotta be all completely closed. Let me go the other way with it. Let's see what happens. I think this is probably gotta go the other way. Yeah, maybe that's all it is. Let's see. Because this is not an adjustable screw. This is just a lockdown holding it. I'm going to tighten that back up. I just think I had to go the other way on this adjustment. And I might have went too far, so I'm going to have to see what it does. Okay, that's better. Now this one's very closed, and this one's kind of open a little bit. So I might have went a little too far. Can't do it while they're together. That's Probably I just tweaked it just a little bit. Well, that's better. Now those carburetors are completely closed. Okay, I just got to tighten that back up. Off again. Oh, here it is. I'm going to drop that. Okay, put that back on. Okay, now those fit nicely together. Everything's tight. That snaps back together. Good deal. Okay. These are the 4 screws here that hold this carburetor to the plate. I may have to take these back off because I need to get the choke. These just snap on. Okay, I don't have to worry about that. What do I remember? I remember there's a screw here. Now linkage to the choke screws into this. But I got to remember which direction it goes. It's got a witness mark on this side. I believe it goes like this. I believe it was at the top too. So basically like that. Like that. There. Now it's in. You can see, oh, it's nice and tight on those clips. And then the choke screw goes there. Gotta find that. Here it is. I had to buy a new one because I already lost it, and I realized it's under the boat somewhere. So I didn't even bother looking for it. Just bought a new one. Okay, so now that that's in, it's all ready to go back into the boat. So that's all I got to show you for today. And these are my intake gaskets, of course, and they're also self-adhesive and sticky, so they'll go on in some sort of orientation like this, or I think it sticks onto the intake of the boat, and then it lines up here. I think I have to play around with that and see, but maybe not. Maybe it's like this. Yeah, it's like this. So the sticky side, I think. Maybe not. Maybe the sticky side does go towards the boat. Yeah, that's probably what it is. Sticky side towards the boat motor. I think. Wait a minute. Oh, I'm sorry. That goes on this side. Man, what am I thinking? Man, I must have gotten too much sleep or something. So it's either, yeah, sticky side towards the boat, and I'll put these on later.
And that's that. Okay. Yeah. All right. No worries. So when I pull those apart, let's pull the sticky side off. It'll get attached onto the intake of the motor, and then we'll just bolt it on. So there's some long bolts. There's 4 long bolts, or maybe 4 inches long. For the intake, and that's that. So okay, well, stay tuned. We're halfway there. So when I take this up north, I'll reinstall it. We'll see if we get the boat running. All right, thanks for keeping tuned in. Okay, well, it's a beautiful day here in Houghton Lake, Michigan, and I'm up at the cottage, and we're going to do a carburetor install. I've already cleaned the carburetors, as you can see. They're up here, and so we've got it all back together and ready to install. So I just got to take off the cowling, and we'll get to it. Yeah, so keep watching. Just got to remove the 3 bolts. 1, 2, 3. That'll take off the air cover, exposing the intake. Okay, and don't forget these 2 screws in the front, because there's a bolt that's hidden under here behind the box in order to get this out. So, okay, and there she is, right there. You won't be able to get that box out of there without getting to that bolt. Oh boy, tight. Okay. Anyway, then you can see the intake. And we got 4 long bolts holding the carburetors to that assembly. So, okay. So I got 1 carburetor in there, and I just put the bolts in. I've got the intake gaskets in place. I put 1 carburetor up in there. I'm pretty sure that this throttle body, you can see up in there, hard to tell. Hold on a second. Maybe I can get some exterior light on the subject. If you can see there, yeah, up in here, the throttle has to go behind this ledge here. I don't even know what you call that thing, but that's what activates the throttle. I'm pretty sure that's how it goes in there. I will actuate the throttle to see if it opens the butterflies like they're supposed to be. Right now they're closed. In a kind of a neutral, it's the shifter's in neutral, so those should be closed. And I'm going to just kind of throttle it up and see if that doesn't open those up but I'm going to install them both and then try it and see what happens. I got to hook up the fuel line here with a new zip tie and a zip tie here, and I'll be good to go. So, okay, we'll give that a try. Okay, the trick is just getting that cam behind this cam, and so you got the smaller cam back there, and as this throttles up, I don't have it in there securely, but you get the general idea. Okay, so then you put the 4 bolts in. The 4 bolts in, if you can. These are the hardest 2. You might have to pull these out to finagle those in, but I've got it to where I want it. But these bolts are a little bit tricky. You got to get this bottom one in, because there's not much room to get it in there. So you're going to have to finagle that. Maybe even pull this one back out to get that in first. But that's the idea. And you don't want to lose the linkage here, because when you pull it apart, that linkage there that synchronizes those carburetors wants to pull apart. So you got to kind of get those in all at the same time. So I can't hold the camera and show you that, but anyway, keep watching. Okay, I just disconnected the linkage from the choke. This is kind of hanging to the side. Then you can get your bolts in, that one in, and this one in. And kind of lift it in place and try to get that cam back in, connected to the top carburetor for that linkage. Okay, now that I've got both carburetors in, the linkage is connected. These two bolts were the hardest to get in. You just got to kind of disconnect it from the top one, finagle it on the side, disconnect your linkage, and then get those two bolts in. Once you get them started, then it's a no-brainer. Pretty easy. And my throttle, you can see as I activate the throttle, you should see the carburetors open. Top one did. And I believe the bottom one did too. I can't see so well. Looking for my... Let me see if I can turn my flashlight on and see what we got. Okay, you can see that the throttle in the back it's not fully open, but it is open. Let's see. This one about the same, so I don't have the throttle all the way open. So let me see what I can do with that. Yeah, now I'm holding it all the way open. And you can see that that one is definitely open more. It wants to spring back a little bit. Yeah, they look open to me, but okay, it's all back together again. We're good to go, at least for the plate. I just got to put the airbox back in. These two screws are a little harder to get to, but you got to put them in mostly by hand. I just used my socket with my fingers and screwed it in. Got it to seat, and then of course got my little ratchet in there, little tiny ratchet, 1/4 inch set, and of course the extension would work on the top one here, but not on the bottom one. You just have to take the extension off and use the socket and the ratchet. You're good to go. Up here they were very easy to get to, so those went in quite nicely. All right, so it's back in together. I'll put the airbox back on. I might start it up without the airbox on, just to see how she'll do, and see if we're getting fuel in there and all that. So anyway, stay tuned. Okay, the last steps were just to connect the choke, this here choke, manual choke line, and it runs up to the knob up here, and then just snap this back into place on the linkage there, and we're done. Now I'm just going to run it. I'm going to try and start it up, hook up a fuel line to it, and see if we can get it running. Stay tuned. Okay, we're gonna give it some throttle. Got it on the warm-up lever over here. We'll give it a key, see how she does. Hey. Well, I took it off warm-up. Let's see. Well, we know we got life. Let's see here. It's on warm up again. Choke it. Well, try the primer bulb again. I was leaking a little gas here, but maybe that seal's just getting a little, it just wasn't sealed right. Well, primer's bulb is full, or firm. Let's see what we got. Choke. Might have flooded it. I'm gonna try a little starter fluid in there just to see what that does. I don't know what's going on. Maybe the fuel pump. Huh. Huh. Don't know. Yeah, primer bulb is still firm. I'm maybe I got too much fuel in there now. Manually choke it and see what it does.
back down. That seemed to help. That seemed to help. Just back the throttle down a little bit. Warm up. Well, pins, so that's a good sign. My water pump seems to be a success. Just lukewarm. Spraying ether in there, but had to kickstart it somehow, but I think just manually choking it worked. This thing hasn't run really in a long time, so it's been probably years since it's been running, and I did spray some PB blaster in the cylinders before I started it. Well, now the next thing is a lake trial. We'll try to get it out on the lake maybe. It's a beautiful day for it. She's running. I'm going to put the air box back on. That'll quiet her down some. We put it back into neutral or throttle it back to the neutral position. See if she stays running. So far, so good. Probably shouldn't have done that. All right, see if she fires back up. Probably flooded it. There we go, okay. I hit the timing on it. Retracted the timing a little bit. I got the linkage hooked up, so I can't really throttle it manually. Sounds good. I mean, I think she'll roar, man. I think this thing will take off. Okay. Well, okay. We'll see you on the lake. That's forward gear. We definitely got forward gear going here. And now that's reverse. So we definitely got forward and reverse working. Neutral's good. So I think we got it going. We're in good shape.